listening to Turbocharge Your Business on the number one global business talk and news network on the internet, IBGR, International Business Growth Radio, the world of business at your fingertips. Hey there, you're listening to Turbocharge Your Business, a show for business owners who are tired of just working in the nuts and bolts of their businesses and ready to work on the business itself from a big picture, growth oriented, strategic perspective. I'm your host, Patty Lawrence, founder of Turbo Execs, Money Finder, consulting CFO, and right hand to growth minded CEOs. This season is called 13 Weeks to Financial Literacy. And over the course of the season, I'm teaching you everything you need to know to take your business from confused and chaotic to strategically growing with you in the driver's seat. From people planning to cash flow planning to performance measures and more. It all starts with understanding the story behind your numbers. So let's dive in. This is episode 33. Cash flow versus profit. Mythbusters. Be sure to go to our website at ibgr.network and download the show notes. Today's show is all about cash. By the end of our time together, you will gain an understanding of why cash is king in your business. So why did we call this particular segment Mythbusters? Well, first of all, let's go back and look at the definition of cash flow versus profit because they're two completely different things in your business. So let's look at profit first. Profit is what's left over, meaning it's revenue minus your expenses, purely an income statement measure. Cash flow, however, concerns all of the movement of cash in and out of your business. And cash functions as the fuel in your business engine. Unlike profit, profit is just what's left over after you've sold something and paid all the expenses related to them, to selling that particular item. But it's an important measure. Don't get me wrong, it's an important measure. But here we are talking about cash flow and the myth behind it. So the myth side of it is people put way more emphasis on the profit measure for their business than they do the cash flow. And the cash, remember, is what fuels your business engine. And if you have no fuel for your engine slash business can go nowhere. It can't move forward. And we talked a little bit in another episode about where is your cash tied up in your business. So when we talk about Mythbusters, I want to debunk the measure of profitability. That profitability is the most important measure of your business. And for some people, revenue is. So sales, top line, for some people is the most important because it's a vanity number. And you've heard me say this before. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash is king. So when we take all three of those and look at them together, we get a way better picture and a way better feel for and a measure of the health of our business. But when we only look at the vanity number, revenue, or the sanity number, profit, we're missing a key component in our business. And so to me, the myth surrounding this is all about what is the most important number in your business. And I would argue that that is cash. So why is cash king, right? Why is it? Well, again, back to what I was talking about a little earlier, if you don't have cash in your business engine, fuel in your engine's not going to go anywhere. You're going to be stuck, right? Cash also gives you options. If you have no cash, you really don't have any options. And when you don't have cash in your business, chances are people aren't going to be willing to either invest in your business where you need to get an infusion of cash. So what are your options? They're not going to be lenders aren't going to look at that very kindly because they're going to be like, that's not a responsible way to manage your money if you have no cash, right? You're not managing your business responsibly enough to keep enough cash on hand to operate your business, let alone grow it. So, what we want to make sure is that we look responsible, we act responsible, right? Those are two biggies when it comes to the bank or an outside investor. So the myth that the banks are going to, banks will lend to anybody. That's a myth for sure. Banks don't like to lend to folks who don't have the credibility, don't have the character. There's a lot of C's involved there, right? And the problem is you need money to make money. So you have to have enough on hand to be able to have a jumping off point. So, what other myths are out there? Well, there are some myths that are out there surrounding, how much cash do you need to have? How much profit do you need to have? Well, I like to look at it in terms of, number of months of expenses. How many months of expenses do you need to have on hand? Used to be myth, right, versus reality. And we can look at pre-COVID versus what happened during COVID and what that revealed to us. So prior to COVID, people would say, "Oh, good rule of thumb is to have 3 months." And I was even one of those people. But I will tell you, COVID taught us that we need to have more than that on hand. We need to have at least 6 months of cash on hand in your accounts. That's not in your operating account, right? Because you need your operating account just to do business day in, day out, month in, month out. But what you need to have on hand for emergency purposes, like a spare tire, right? For emergency use only, you need to have 6 months stocked away. And people are scratching their heads. I know you're looking at me going, "No way, Patty. How can I have 6 months on hand?" Well, you usually don't get it all at once unless you win the lottery and it all goes into your business. You'll need to have a plan, put a plan together to squirrel some money away every week. How much will you not miss out of your business? Is it $100 a week? Is it $1,000 a week? Depends on the size of your business and how much money you're generating within your business and how much money you need to run your business. I'm not going to tell you what the right number is. I work with my clients on what the right number is. But for you, what would you not miss on a week in, week out basis? So let's say it's $100 a week. Set up something with your banking platform where you're transferring it into, say, a money market account or someplace you're not going to see it. Because that, my friends, is a way to have an automatic savings plan that you won't even miss. And all of a sudden, by the end of 12 months, you've got a big balance in there. You've got a nice balance or a head start on some balance. So that makes it easy. We like easy, and we like to be not impacted by it, not adversely impacted by it, because then we feel like, we don't feel abundant anymore. We feel like somebody's taking away something from us. And what I want to make sure is that you don't feel that way. I want you to feel good about it because that's going to be your cushion. That's going to be something that provides a safety net for you going forward. So, what other kinds of myths are there out there? I like to think that you can be profitable and cash rich. But the myth is myth, I say myth. The myth um, is just that, actually, because you can actually be profitable and cash poor. So on paper, on your income statement, you can be profitable, but you can have so many other requirements for cash in your business that it will drain that down, and you will no longer have the level that you need to have in your business to move it forward. You will be just draining the cash out, just sucking it out of your business, and not having enough in reserve, not having enough even for operations. So let's put together something in that gives you that visibility in your business. What are your cash requirements? So that you can keep track of that and you can plan for it and you can bust the myths surrounding cash versus profit because you're smarter. You're smart now, you know the difference, and you know how to deal with cash and talk about cash versus profit in your business. We're going to take a short 2-minute break right now. And when we return, we will be talking about cash flow versus profit, defining the differences. Be sure to check out my collection of free resources at turboexecs.com/turbocharge. And you can continue the conversation with me, Patty Lawrence, on LinkedIn. You have been listening to Turbocharge Your Business and episode 33, Cash Flow versus Profit, Mythbusters, on IBGR. I'm Patty Lawrence, and we'll be back after a short break.